Hello again, Glitch Reaper here, and I'm back for a quick vlog. I wanted to talk about a few things that happened recently. May have noticed I did have a bit of a gap, but only after a while, and that's because I actually found out that it was actually kind of easier and ironically to do some longer videos because I could let them upload while I was doing some of my work. So I guess you could say that comes out more convenient than expected. Not exactly your usual way of thinking of it, but I guess that works. Meanwhile, may also be wondering what's up with the D&D Crusader. Thing is for a while I was trying to resynchronize it with someone's server. I haven't been able to fully get everything to work yet, so I just basically have got things kind of restored for now, so that I can get back to doing some episodes here. I'll probably have some conversations with them later to get everything perfectly synchronized, because I've been kind of thinking of getting back into doing multiplayer with it, but it may just be for a good hangout. I don't know. Well, we'll see if I series that. Either way, I'm definitely going to continue doing it solo style. It tends to be my preferred method usually, in terms of like actually doing survival-based stuff. So, yeah, or series and things like that. So it's just the way I tend to do things better. But I will be getting back to those soon. I've got one ready, and next time I have a big day ahead of me, I'll probably be uploading it then. But yeah, that's definitely how some things are going to be going. And I do have other stuff still coming up. I'm still doing Crazy Craft for the time being, and of course my own mod pack, Punk by Magic. There's also some interesting news related to that. I was originally thinking of seeing how well a 1.11 version would fit together. I mean, I know I haven't really completed my series on 1.10 yet, but 1.11 is something that is looking like it's probably going to be less memory intensive, kind of like 1.12 seems to be. And there's some good stuff in 1.11 and 1.12 in terms of mods, and one of the big ones is Lost Thaumaturgy. But the problem is it's temporarily on hiatus now, so I can't get the 1.11 file like I was originally going to do. I ironically just have it on 1.12 right now because I had a testing world already. So it's going to be a little bit delayed in terms of doing that, because I was wanting the 1.11 version to have that specifically so that we could see the return of like full-on thaumaturgy. And it's in a different style. It's in 1.2.5 Thaumcraft 2 style. So it does things differently with a different set of concepts and stuff, including some items that had been modded back into Thaumcraft with add-ons just because people really liked them and didn't want to see them go. And one of the guys specifically responsible for that has in fact done Lost Thaumaturgy. Is he was deciding, okay, that's it. We're bringing Thaumaturgy back. And obviously, there's also the Thomp potatoes, but that's a different. That's a totally different take on things. Yeah. But Lost Thaumaturgy is something that I'm kind of waiting for the return of. Apparently, the reason why it's on hiatus has something to do with textures, but as for like dynamics and other stuff, apparently that was perfectly fine to go along with. It's just like texture-based, so the entire mod is being retextured at this time by apparently an artist that Pingu has come in league with. So. We'll be waiting on all those textures and sprites and stuff for later, but there was a pretty good amount of stuff in Thaumcraft 2, so assuming that there's only a few adjustments for current style and stuff like that, and he will be adding like more content to it that's like new and original and stuff that goes with current times. The thing is that means that because there was so much in Thaumcraft 2 already, it's going to take a while. I mean, seriously, remember how long it took for the ether to come back? Yeah, that could be a trip like that. Just saying, just saying. So for those of you with Minecraft memories that remember the original Ether and how long it took for anything Ether related to come back, yeah. Well, hopefully it'll be shorter than that. We'll see. Other things have been updating very well, and some of which I gotta admit I've been hearing some good news about in terms of mods. So I'm pretty hyped about that. Of course, some of these will actually be updated in 1.10, so they'll actually be in my mod pack, because well, some modders are better at maintaining multiple versions at once, or if the code is similar enough between versions where there's not really a problem, it's perfectly fine. And of course, there's also times where people just want to go with the latest, and that's a totally different story. So there's some things that will only be seen much later on. And so it's like the whole modding scene has really gotten interesting recently. And they're bringing some old stuff back, bringing some totally new ideas in. It's just awesome. I do like the march of how vanilla and modded work together. I mean, I'm literally standing on something that was inspired by a mod. I mean, seriously, it may not seem like at first, but just think about this history of it. These purple blocks, end rods, even my chorus forest right over there, it was all inspired by the hardcore Ender expansion mod, which is in fact part of Crusader, and I applaud them for that because, let's face it, that mod has had a history of not working well with other mods, so congrats guys, congrats. But the thing is, it expands the end so much and adds so much content, and a lot of it included like flora and fauna of the end, and look what we got now, we got more flora and fauna in the end. I mean, I could nibble this chorus fruit right now. It's from a plant in the end. I mean, that was some good inspiration. Of course, Mojang always said that they did have a plan for it. But they've always taken inspiration from mods, going, okay, that seems to be along the idea of what we want to do, so we can kind of vanilla that up a bit. So you know what I mean. But I'm just literally standing on an example right now about how the March of Progress goes, and I always think that's cool. But as we go both forward and backward, remember where some of this stuff came from. That's an important point. And in the future, there will be more mods like that. And another interesting point of news, just in terms of modding, I might wind up doing, in addition to some other games eventually, I might do a bit more of the collective game known as Bedrock Edition, because it will eventually have an actual modding API. They've actually stated that whenever they do the full-on modding API, rather than other like resource packs that they've had for a while and some other kinds of add-ons and stuff, but the full-on modding API will actually be starting in Bedrock Edition. Yeah, that's totally a thing that they're going to do, and it sounds awesome. They've stated that it will be kind of it'll take a while for them to get caught up with Forge, but it will be a dedicated effort that should get there eventually. And of course, them working with the base system itself means they might actually be able to eventually exceed it. But again, this will take time. So, but things to look forward to in the future. And I gotta admit, I'm wondering if some of the more famous mods from Java Edition here winds up translating over there whenever they get the API ready, so the code's more open. So we'll see how that works out. Of course, program languages and stuff that could be a bit different. I mean, let's face it, we've heard Java's sometimes easier than some of the others, so we'll see how people handle the big gap. But I'm sure there'll be more than a few people that manage to take off with it and get things to go quite well. So I'm still hopeful for the future. So even if I have a few times where I'm struggling for getting my time here, wait a moment. Was that a green robe one? You. Where were you? I didn't think I had any around here. Thought I saw you. That was an interesting interruption. You! Oh, come on. Well, it shows they're actually breeding with this establishment, because I did not have one of these particular villagers around here before. Okay, tower working, and I've got a better design for this that I've been working on a particular a very particular server with a friend of mine, and we've been kind of improving this design that I started up here on my snapshot world. And well, this exact design. I've done generations and generations of this kind of trading tower, as I call it. But eventually, I'll get everything right and probably show in a series the finished design. I think I'm pretty darn close. So we'll see how that works in the future too. It's just a nice reveal of how to do this cool little structure, repeat it over and over for a perfectly balanced combo of aesthetic and a good density of doors to make your villagers happy. So, you know, just a perfect little structure for them to use as a condo. Oh well, that was an interesting thought in the middle of this. Okay, well anyhow, Uh, I guess we'll get caught up in the future. But again, this has been Glitch Reaper, and I'll be signing off. So hope to hear from you all later again. So bye for now, everybody. Almost forgot one last thing. Yeah. Okay. Now I feel like it's an ending.